There are things people will never say out loud, but if you've paid attention, you can feel it in the atmosphere. You've seen the whispers, the nervous glances, the sudden cover-ups when your name is mentioned or when you walk into the room. They may never admit it publicly, but deep down they know the exact moment they crossed the line with you. It replays in their minds like a crime scene they can't erase. Why? Because being in your presence is not casual. It's costly, and when someone mishandles that presence, there are always consequences. Right now, if you really tune in, you can sense it in the silence around you. And don't be fooled, this silence isn't peace. It's the pause after a storm. It's that heavy stillness when the wind has stopped but the damage is already done. Enemies who used to laugh the loudest are suddenly quiet. People who once thought they could treat you like anyone else are now cautious, calculating their words, measuring every step. Something shifted and they know it. See, they never expected to realize this truth. Standing next to you is not free. It carries weight, and if they don't respect it, the universe makes sure they pay for it. That's why, even though they may never give you the credit, you've already won their respect. It's buried under their envy, hidden beneath their jealousy, disguised in those fake smiles. That's why they treat you the way they do, because your very existence unsettles them. The rumors, the jokes, the shade they throw, it's not proof of their power, it's proof of their fear. They are afraid because they were careless with you, and now there's no going back. And chosen one, before I go any further, let me pause to say this. I see you. I appreciate you. If you're here listening right now, it means you've been walking this path with strength, even when it's been heavy. Thank you for being part of this mission, because this message, this voice, it's not just mine, it's ours. Together, we are building something bigger than one person. We're creating a shield, a weapon, a reminder that you are not alone in this journey. So if you haven't already, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and join this community, because the atmosphere is shifting, and we are shifting it together. And now let's step deeper into the truth they never wanted spoken. Chosen one, let's talk about something most people will never admit, but you've already felt it 1,000 times. Your presence is not neutral. When you walk into a room, it doesn't just add to the atmosphere, it shifts the atmosphere. It's like a shockwave. People sense you before you even speak. The air gets heavier, conversations stumble, eyes start shifting, and suddenly everyone's spirit is on high alert. Have you noticed that? Think about the last time you stepped into a gathering, maybe at work, maybe at church, maybe even in your own family. Before a single word left your mouth, people adjusted themselves. They sat straighter, they lowered their tone, they chose their words carefully. Why? Because something about you commands respect without demanding it. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. The spirit within you changes the atmosphere. And here's the truth, many of them once thought you were ordinary. They thought they could overlook you, talk over you, dismiss you as background noise. But the moment you showed up, their own spirit told them the truth before their lips could form a lie. That's the shockwave you carry. It exposes who people really are. It forces them to make a choice, either honor what they're standing next to or disrespect it and face the consequences. And make no mistake, consequences are real. Some people already paid the price for mishandling you. They laughed when they should have listened. They mocked when they should have been honored. They treated your silence like weakness, and now that silence has become the loudest thing echoing in their minds. You don't even have to defend yourself. The universe, and I dare say the God who chose you, defends you. So let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why certain people act strangely around you? Why do their confidence crack when you arrive? Why do their faces tighten and their voices shift? It's not because you did anything wrong. It's because your presence is a mirror and their spirit can't hide. That's why they better be careful with you. Chosen one, your presence is not a shadow. It's the origin point. You don't echo someone else's energy, you set the tone. And from this point forward, never forget, the weight you carry is real. The respect you deserve is already yours. And every room you enter is living proof. Chosen one, here's the deeper truth. most people don't want to face. You are the mirror they cannot escape. Every time you step into a space, your very presence reflects back to them what they've been trying to hide. You don't have to point fingers, you don't have to call names, and you don't even have to open your mouth. Your energy alone pulls off their mask. Have you ever noticed how some people suddenly fall silent when you walk in? Or how their mood changes, their smile fades, their tone shifts? That's not random, it's exposure. You show them their own weakness without saying a single word. And because of that, being near you is not casual, it's a privilege. It's like standing near a fire. Either you receive the warmth and grow from it, or you get burned for playing too close. And make no mistake, many have already been burned. Some thought they could mishandle you, mistreat you, or treat your silence as safety. They believed they could disrespect you and walk away untouched. But the universe has a way of keeping score, and they are learning that lesson in real time. Opportunities are slipping away, relationships are collapsing, and sleepless nights haunt them, all tied back to the moment they mishandled you. That's not revenge, that's balance. The funny thing is, they think they're hiding it, but you can see it all. The ones who used to laugh the loudest now avoid eye contact. The ones who doubted you are circling back, testing the waters, hoping for a second chance at proximity. But you've closed that door, and they feel the weight of it. Access to you is gone, and that terrifies them. So hear me clearly, every move they make, every word they speak in your direction matters. Because mishandling you doesn't end with a simple apology. It ends with consequences that echo. Being in your presence was never a right, it was a privilege. A rare, heavy privilege. And those who take it lightly are already learning the hard way that nothing about you is ordinary. Chosen one you are, not just in the room, you are the room. And from this moment forward, anyone who steps into your space, better treat it with the reverence it deserves. Because you are not to be mishandled, not anymore. Chosen one, let me tell you something that rattles the very foundation of those around you. You are living evidence that real power can't be faked. You are the contradiction, they can't explain the proof that what is built on truth will always outlast what is built on lies. Look at your life. You were underestimated, overlooked, even buried under layers of opposition. Yet here you are, still standing, still shining, stronger than ever. That's not an accident. That's the evidence. People around you want to believe that power comes from titles, from money, from influence, or from pretending to be something they're not. But when you walk in, everything they've built crumbles because your presence testifies to a deeper truth. Power is not manufactured, it is forged. Think about it. A house built on sand might look stable in the sunshine, but the moment the storm arrives, it collapses in seconds. That's your enemies. They had comfort, they had numbers, they had noise, but none of it could survive the pressure. Then there's you, built on stone, tested by fire, refined through storms. What they thought would crush you only crowned you. What they tried to bury became your soil. And now your very existence exposes their fraud. This is why some people look so uneasy when you walk into the room. It's not because you've done anything to them, it's because you are proof. Your scars preach louder than their speeches. Your survival screams louder than their noise. Your peace is their punishment. Every breath you take is evidence that the storm they thought would end you only elevated you. That's why they compete with you, even when you're not competing. That's why they copy your style, your words, your moves, trying to mimic the shine without the suffering. But here's the truth. They can imitate the surface, but they can't replicate the source. They can put on a performance, but they can't carry the presence. You are the diamond, they are the glass, and the difference always shows when life applies pressure. So chosen one, don't ever downplay your journey. Your survival is your crown, your scars are your testimony. You don't just prove that power can't be faked, you embody it. And that is why they better be careful, because every time you show up, you dismantle their illusions without saying a word. You are the evidence, and evidence cannot be erased. Chosen one, Let's flip the perspective for a moment. Have you ever wondered why you just can't seem to blend in no matter how hard you try? Why do people treat you like a threat, even when all you want is peace? The answer is simple. You weren't created to blend. You weren't wired to shrink. You weren't built to disappear into the background. You are the background. You are the atmosphere. When you walk into a room, reality itself reorganizes around you. You've probably noticed it. Conversations shift. The noise dies down. The truth that people try to bury suddenly rises to the surface. That's because you are the silence after the storm. You are the undeniable proof that chaos never wins against alignment. Storms may rage, roar, and destroy, but once the storm is over, it's the stillness that forces everyone to face what remains. That's you. Your presence silences the noise and makes the truth unavoidable. And here's why that unsettles people. Your energy doesn't let anyone hide. It exposes what's fake and magnifies what's real. That's why some people love you and cling to you. They feel elevated in your presence. But others resent you because you confront the lies they've been living. You don't even have to call them out. Just by existing, you force them to confront themselves. That's why they say you're too much, too intense, or hard to read. What they really mean is that your presence doesn't give them room to lie anymore. But understand this, chosen one, your energy is not cheap, and it's not fake. It's not ego, it's alignment. It's survival transformed into strength. It's authenticity forged through the battles you've endured. That's why people either deeply respect you or deeply resent you. There is no middle ground. You are the line that separates truth from illusion. So don't be surprised when people can't forget you even after you're gone. Don't be shocked when your absence feels louder than someone else's presence. You are not ordinary. You are the standard. And that's why they better be careful with you, because mishandling you is not just disrespect, it's self-destruction. Chosen one, from this moment on, stop trying to downplay what the universe has already stamped on you. You are the silence after the storm, the standard that cannot be ignored. And the world either rises to meet it or it gets exposed by it. Chosen one, let's clear something up. Real power does not always shout. Real power doesn't need to perform. Real power doesn't have to convince anybody. Real power speaks even when your mouth is closed. And that's you. Your silence is louder than their noise. Your stillness carries more authority than their bragging. Picture this: two people walk into a room. One rushes to announce their titles, their money, their connections. They fight for the spotlight because without it they feel invisible. Then there's you. You step in quietly. You don't wave credentials, you don't beg for attention, and yet the whole atmosphere bends around your aura. Who do you think people remember? Not the noisemaker. They remember the frequency. And you, chosen one, are frequency. You are aligned. This is why people stumble when you arrive. The conversation suddenly shifts. Jokes fall flat. Confidence cracks. Some get nervous, others go silent. They can't explain it, but they feel it. And deep down they know exactly what it is. Your silence carries weight. Your presence doesn't just enter a space, it dominates it. Not because you force it, but because authenticity always exposes counterfeit. Understand this: your enemies built their entire existence on performance. They rely on manipulation, ego, and appearances to look powerful. But the second they stand near you, their masks start slipping. Why? Because truth has a way of making lies tremble. You don't even have to speak. Your silence alone makes their false foundation shake. Have you ever wondered why people obsess over you? Why do some compete with you, even when you're not competing with them? It's because your authenticity highlights their lack. Your peace exposes their chaos. Your quiet confidence reminds them of everything they're pretending to be. That's why they can't leave you alone, because your very existence unsettles their performance. So, chosen one, never think you're misunderstood because you're quiet. You're misunderstood because you carry a weight most people can't even name. In a world addicted to noise, your silence is fire to their paper. Some will fear it, some will worship it, but none will ignore it. And that's why they better be careful with you. Because your silence is not emptiness, it is power, it is judgment, it is a revelation. You don't need to prove yourself chosen one. You already embody what they cannot fake. And without even trying, you expose them all. Chosen one, let's tear down a lie that's been spoken over you for far too long. People have called you intimidating. They've said you're too much. They've whispered that your presence is heavy, that your spirit is hard to handle. But let's get this straight, you are not intimidating. What they are really feeling is exposure. Think about it. The world is full of actors. People put on masks, rehearse their lines and play their roles because they fear being seen for who they really are. And then you walk in no mask, no script, no performance, just the truth. Just raw authenticity. Suddenly their roles don't fit anymore. Their masks start slipping, and instead of admitting that they slap the label intimidating on you because it's easier to blame you than face themselves, it's not you that terrifies them, it's what your presence reveals. Your certainty unmasks their insecurity, your fire exposes their shadows, your confidence shakes the lies they've built their identity on. That's why they get nervous around you. That's why they whisper about you. That's why they try to twist the narrative. Because your truth is something they can't control, and what people can't control, they fear. Now, let me ask you this. How many times have you been told to tone it down, to soften your light, to shrink yourself so others could feel comfortable? How many times did you try to play small, only to feel that fire inside you burning brighter? That's because you were never built to shrink. You were built to stand. You were built to radiate. You were built to embody truth that doesn't flinch. So let them call you intimidating if they want. But understand this, they're not describing you. They're confessing their own fear. Fear of honesty. Fear of alignment. Fear of someone who doesn't need their approval to exist. You don't walk in intimidation. You walk in certainty. And certainty terrifies the insecure. Chosen one, never confuse their labels with truth. You are not the problem, you are the proof. Proof that authenticity still lives. Proof that masks cannot survive in your presence. And that's why they'd better be careful, because when you show up, illusions collapse. And truth, no matter how much they resist it, always remains. Chosen one, there is something inside you that didn't start with you, and it won't end with you either. You carry a blueprint, a divine design that generations before you longed for, but could never unlock. You are walking evidence that destiny does not repeat, it evolves. Think about it. Your ancestors fought battles they couldn't win. They came up against chains they couldn't break. They reached for doors they could never open. And yet here you are, carrying the key in your very blood. You didn't need to force the lock. You were born holding it. That's why people can't quite explain to you. That's why some are in awe while others are unsettled. Because when they look at you, they see the manifestation of prayers they never prayed and victories they never fought for. It's like this: imagine a vault sealed for centuries, guarded by weight and time. Many tried to break it open but failed. Then you arrive not with tools, not with violence, but with alignment. The lock responds to you because you were destined to carry the code. That's why your presence feels so different. You're not just speaking knowledge, you're releasing wisdom refined through scars, isolation, and relentless growth. You are breaking cycles in minutes that took centuries to build. And this is why people sometimes react so strangely around you. To some, you are an inspiration. To others, you are irritating. Because your very existence whispers the truth. This is what you could have been if you had done the work. That cuts deep. That's why they project jealousy, fear, or even hostility. You don't just represent yourself, you represent what their bloodline could never reach. But don't mistake their envy for strength. Their reaction has nothing to do with you being too much. It has everything to do with the fact that you carry what they could never carry. You are the blueprint, the unlocked code, the living reminder that destiny isn't about repetition, it's about evolution. Chosen one, you are not here by chance, you are here by assignment. And that assignment carries weight that their lineage could never touch. That's why they better be careful, because standing near you is not just standing near a person, it's standing in front of everything they couldn't become. Chosen One, let's get this clear. Being connected to you has never been casual. Every person who steps into your life steps into an appointment with weight. Whether they realize it or not, your presence activates something. For the ones who honor you, blessings flow. For the ones who mishandle you, consequences follow. That's not revenge, that's spiritual law. Think back. Haven't you noticed the pattern? The ones who loved you sincerely, who supported you without an agenda, who protected you. Instead of exploiting you, look at their lives. Doors opened for them. Peace expanded. Clarity flowed. But then look at the others, the liars, the manipulators, the users. Where are they now, spiraling? Losing what they thought was untouchable. Watching doors slam that once swung wide. That's not a coincidence. That's the cost of mishandling you. Imagine this. Someone is handed the keys to a rare, priceless car. They could honor it, drive carefully, and be taken farther than they ever dreamed. Or they could recklessly slam it into a wall. If they destroy it, do they blame the car or their own carelessness? That's exactly what happens when people mistreat you. The wreckage that follows them is not your fault. It's the consequence of their own dishonor. And here's the part that stings: most of them didn't even show up to love you. They showed up to feed off your clarity, your calm, your light. But when the light got too bright, their shadows screamed. Proximity to you is always a test, and most people fail it. They confuse access with ownership. They think they're entitled to you. They think your presence is just another option on their list. But Chosen One, you are not an option, you are an assignment. That's why losing you hits harder than losing anyone else. Your absence is not just emotional, it's spiritual. When you walk away, peace leaves with you. Covering leaves with you. The clarity they once borrowed is gone, and suddenly their chaos echoes louder than ever. And deep down, even if they'll never say it, they know exactly what they lost. So hear me clearly, mishandling you always comes with a bill they can't afford, and many are paying it right now. Not because you cursed them, but because the universe balances what they thought was free. You are not free, you are rare. You are the cost they underestimated. And now they know. Chosen One, it's time you understand this. Your boundaries are not rejection. They are a revelation. They are not walls meant to keep people out. They are warnings meant to protect what's sacred inside of you. When you pull back, when you go silent, when you shut the door, it's not about being stubborn or petty. It's because something inside you recognizes when the energy is off. You've been through enough to know what it feels like when someone treats your presence like it's disposable. You can sense when intentions are dirty. You can feel when someone shows up, not to honor your spirit, but to drain it. And when that happens, you don't debate, you don't argue, you move quietly, powerfully, permanently, because grace wasted becomes grace withdrawn. Let me paint the picture. Imagine someone abusing a safety net again and again, convinced it will always be there to catch them. Then, one day the net is gone. The fall is harder, sharper, and unforgettable. That's what happens when people abuse access to you. They thought they could come and go as they pleased, drink from your energy like water from a faucet, and return whenever it suited them. But when you finally close the door, they realize too late that your presence was never guaranteed, it was a gift. And here's why your absence feels different than anyone else's. When you leave, something leaves with you. Peace leaves with you. Clarity leaves with you. The covering that once shielded them vanishes, and suddenly, the chaos they kept hidden is now screaming louder than ever. They thought you were just another person, but your presence was divine protection they never valued until it was gone. Chosen One, your boundaries are not cruel, they are clarity. They are a divine filter that separates those who were meant to walk with you from those who were only meant to pass through. The right ones will respect those boundaries and grow stronger because of them. But the wrong ones, the liars, manipulators, and careless ones, will feel the consequences of crossing them. So never doubt yourself for protecting your space. Your boundaries aren't selfish. They are sacred, and they send a message louder than words. Mishandle me, and you don't just lose me, you lose the grace that walked with me. That's why they better be careful, because your boundaries don't just protect you, they expose them. Chosen one, let me tell you why some people act so strange the moment you walk into the room. It's not your words, it's not your actions, it's your presence. Your very existence forces what's been hiding inside of them to come out. The shame they buried, the jealousy they denied, the wounds they never healed, all of it claws its way to the surface when you step in. You are like light pouring into a dark attic. Dust begins to dance, shadows scatter, and the mess that was hidden can no longer pretend to be clean. That's why some people fidget when you arrive. That's why their tone changes, their energy cracks, their defense walls go up. It's not because you threatened them, it's because your presence unmasks them. Your silence screams at the lies they've built their lives around. And instead of facing the truth, many would rather label you as too much, intense, or hard to deal with. But those labels aren't true, they're projections. It's easier for them to blame you than to confront the demons you exposed. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how some people open up deeply in your presence while others run away or shut down completely? That's because you activate people you don't even try, but your spirit holds a mirror to theirs. Those who are ready for growth feel drawn to you. Those who are hiding from themselves feel threatened by you. Your presence is never neutral. It's either medicine or fire, healing or exposure. And here's the hard truth. Some will twist the story, ghost you, or even paint you as the villain just to avoid facing what your presence revealed. But chosen one, don't take it personally. It was never you they feared, it was the truth you carry. Your light doesn't stir chaos, it reveals the chaos that was already there. So hear me clearly: when people scatter, when they whisper, when they treat you like the problem, understand that your presence has simply dragged their demons into the open. That's why they better be careful, because standing near you is never casual. It is a confrontation, it is exposure, and it forces a choice: transform or sabotage. But either way, your presence will not be ignored. Chosen one, let's expose a truth most people will never say out loud. They envy you. They want what you carry. They see your glow, your wisdom, your unshakable peace, and they crave it. They crave your crown. But here's the part they don't understand: they could never survive your cross. They want your strength, but not your sleepless nights. They want your discernment, but not the betrayals that carved it into you. They want your compassion, but not the pain of being overlooked, dismissed, or doubted until you almost lost yourself. They want the fruit of your tree, but they don't want the storms that nearly uprooted it. Everyone admires the diamond, but very few are willing to endure the crushing pressure that forged it. Chosen one, nothing about you came free. You weren't handed this glow, you bled for it. Every ounce of grace you carry was hammered out of you through trial after trial. Every drop of wisdom was purchased with heartbreak and tears. Your presence didn't come from convenience, it came from fire. And while others fantasize about standing where you stand, they could never endure the path that built you. Think about it. They admire the shine, but not the refining. They want the results without the responsibility, the crown without the cross. But you were built differently. You were refined in silence, tested in storms without applause, forged in seasons where nobody clapped for you, and still you rose. Over and over again, your scars became your strength, your brokenness became your breakthrough. And that's why they envy you, because your life is the evidence that endurance creates glory. But let's be honest, they don't actually want your life. They want the highlight reel. They want to shine without suffering, and that's why they'll never have it, because crowns don't come without crosses and glory doesn't come without fire. So chosen one, don't let their envy distract you. Remember this: they see the crown, but you know the cost. You know the weight you carried to get here. And that's why they better be careful, because this crown wasn't gifted, it was earned. And only you were built strong enough to carry it. Chosen one, here's a sobering truth: many people prayed for exactly what you carry. They cried out for loyalty, for truth, for someone who would not betray them. They asked for peace in the middle of their chaos, for love that didn't come with conditions. And when the universe answered, it sent you, not loud, not flashy, not wrapped in glitter or fake perfection, just steady, real, intentional. You were the blessing they said they were ready for. But here's what happened when the truth showed up. Their ego exposed the lie. They didn't actually want sacred. They wanted convenience. They didn't want responsibility. They wanted relief. They weren't looking for elevation. They were looking for entertainment. So when you arrived carrying the very thing their soul was starving for, they mishandled it. Instead of honoring you, they doubted you. Instead of embracing you, they tried to control you. Instead of valuing the gift, they sabotaged it. It's like someone begging for rain in a drought, but when the skies finally open, they curse the storm instead of collecting the water. That's exactly how they treated you. They prayed with their mouths, but their spirits weren't aligned, and your presence revealed that gap. You weren't sent to worship them, you were sent to elevate them. And elevation always demands responsibility. So what happened when they fumbled the answer? Consequences. Not because you cursed them, but because mishandling a blessing is mishandling alignment itself. Losing you wasn't just losing a friend, a partner, or a connection. It was losing the very answer they begged for. And here's the tragedy: they can never replace you. Not because you're arrogant, but because you were assigned. And when an assignment is misused, it leaves a void no counterfeit can fill. Chosen one, don't take it personal when they circle back, when they regret, when they try to return. Understand this: the door closed for a reason. The universe doesn't send blessings to people who already proved they can't handle them. That's why they sit in silence now, replaying the opportunity they squandered. They asked for a blessing. They received it, but they fumbled it. And now they live with the silence that follows. Chosen one, hear this clearly: you don't need their approval. You don't need their applause. You don't need their green light to move forward. Why? Because the universe already stamped you. Heaven already confirmed you. Every time they doubted you, every time they laughed at you, every time they dismissed you, life itself rose to prove them wrong. Think back on your journey. How many times did people whisper behind your back, calling you a failure, only to watch doors swing open for you? How many times did they mock your silence, only to see breakthroughs show up on time? That wasn't luck. That wasn't a chance. That was confirmation. Every moment was the universe saying, I've already stamped this one, I've already chosen this one, and that's why their approval is useless. Because whether they clap or not, the verdict has already been rendered. Imagine a courtroom where the crowd boos, mocks, and points fingers, but then the judge slams the gavel and rules in your favor. Whose word matters more, the crowd or the judge? Exactly. Their noise means nothing when the verdict has already been written. Chosen one, that's your life. You don't dance for likes. You don't beg to be seen. You don't perform to be understood. You align, and alignment brings results that no one can deny. Think about the synchronicities in your life, the moments you sensed a shift and it unfolded exactly as you felt. The disasters you narrowly escaped without even knowing the danger. The protection that covered you when you should have fallen. That's not random, that's your stamp. And here's why this rattles them so deeply. They built their whole identity around chasing validation, around being liked, around applause. But you move without it. You breathe without it. You rise without it. And when someone addicted to approval stands next to someone free from it, their whole foundation feels weak. So let them doubt, let them mock, let them call you lucky. They'll never understand the battles you fought in silence. They'll never see the nights you wrestled with yourself and still chose to rise. What they can't stand is that your results don't come from them. They come from being sent. Chosen one, never again lower yourself to beg for what's already yours. The universe stamped you, and no amount of denial, gossip, or rejection can erase that. And that's why they better be careful, because no human opinion can overturn a verdict already signed in heaven. Chosen one, let me declare this truth with boldness. Anyone who comes against you has already lost. Every scheme, every lie, every trap they tried to set, It collapsed before it ever touched you. Not because you fight dirty, not because you beg for pity, but because you are not standing alone. You are covered. You are surrounded. You are chosen. Look back at your life. They tried to bury your name, but your name only rose higher. They tried to slander you, but the truth outlived their lies. They tried to wound you, but the harm never landed. Why? Because there is a shield around you that eyes cannot see, but enemies cannot deny. You don't walk unprotected. You walk guarded by realms beyond their reach. That's why their weapons break. That's why their whispers die out. That's why their traps turn into their own downfall. Imagine this. Someone tries to fight a storm with a paper umbrella. That's what your enemies look like. They come swinging with words, with plots, with envy, but they are battling forces far greater than you alone. Every word they speak against you is weighed. Every action they take is recorded. And when the results return, there are no refunds, no undo buttons, only consequences. Chosen one, you don't even have to defend yourself the way others do, because the universe, and I dare say heaven itself, has already ruled in your favor. Betrayal never wins against you. Envy never stops your rise. Gossip never cancels your assignment. Why? Because you were not built by this world. You were sent into it. To mishandle you is to mishandle sacred ground, and that always carries a price. So don't waste your energy fighting battles that have already been settled. When they plot, they collapse. When they scheme, they fail. When they attack, they expose themselves. Coming against you isn't just reckless, it's self-destruction. It's suicide for their own path. Chosen one, this is why you keep rising. This is why you are untouchable, undeniable, irreplaceable. Let them envy, let them whisper, let them plot. None of it matters, because the outcome is already written. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. And that's why they better be careful, because every battle against you is already lost before it even begins.